This is the Momentum Podcast.
Today's episode of the podcast is a little different. This week, while I was in one of my daily huddles with our team, I was sharing some feedback we had gotten from a couple of our members and a story of another member who had some challenges, and I want to share this with you. It's a behind-the-scenes look at our company and our daily huddle, and something I shared with my team that the members of my team told me I should put out as a podcast.
I'm Alex Sharfin, and this is the Momentum Podcast, made for empire builders, game changers, trailblazers, shot takers, record breakers, world makers, and creators of all kinds. Those among us who can't turn it off and don't know why anyone would want to. We challenge complacency, destroy apathy, and we are obsessed with creating momentum so we can roll over bureaucracy and make our greatest contribution. Sure, we pay attention to their rules, but only so that we can bend them, break them, then rewrite them around our own will. We don't accept our destiny, we define it. We don't understand defeat because you only lose if you stop, and we don't know how. While the rest of the world strives for average and clings desperately to the status quo, we are the minority, the few, who are willing to hallucinate there could be a better future, and instead of just daydreaming of what could be, we endure the vulnerability and exposure it takes to make it real. We are the evolutionary hunters, clearly the most important people in the world, because entrepreneurs are the only source of consistent, positive human evolution, and we always will be.
I take what we do as a company incredibly seriously, and it may not be as exciting as marketing or sales or the things that get attention, but showing entrepreneurs how to run a business, how to operate a company in a way that they can get their lives back changes everything in their lives. It changes everything, not just in their lives, but the lives of the people around them, their friends, their family, the people that they interact with. It changes everything. And it's something that I look at as a mission and a calling and my life's work, and it has an incredibly high level of importance to me. Like I said in the intro, this week in our huddle, I was sharing a couple of anecdotes and stories with our team, and they said, hey, you need to put that out as a podcast. People need to hear that. They need to hear why it is we do what we do and how important it is. So you are going to now be dropped into our huddle in a conversation about what we have is called a resource we have for our members called the Operational Stability Checklist, where we tell them to put process in place for everything in their lives, up to and including registering their cars and extending all of your domains to a 10-year registration, and then calendaring so that you can do another 10-year registration when it runs out. And I start with a story about a member who had a domain expire, and you can hear what happened to him. It's pretty challenging. And then I share about a couple of other members as well. Yeah, so a couple things. So yesterday I got a message from I think all of you know who he is. He's one of our members, and he had a domain of his expire. Another company bought the domain, faked his email address, got his Facebook password, hacked his Facebook account, and has been just like doing all types of stuff that has just caused havoc in his life. And when somebody gets your old domain, the fact that they only were able to hack Facebook is a really big deal, because we've seen people actually get Gmail hacked and phone accounts hacked and crypto wallets hacked and all kinds of stuff from losing a domain like that. And he messaged me to say like, hey, reminds me of that operational stability checklist. And I messaged back and said, everybody kind of laughs at that list and says, why would I calendar my car registration? I remember Alex Hormozy actually making fun of us saying, put your car registration on the calendar. And then he very humbly sent me a message probably 2 months later that his car had been towed from his apartment complex because it had an expired registration. And when you look at the stuff on that list, it's like, it's all things that have affected me, have affected Katie. We had not a member that was in our program, but a member had previously been in our program, got arrested because he had a expired license and then bench warrants for parking tickets. And so like had his car towed, but like got taken in, like all this because entrepreneurs have so much stuff going on, they forget. And so the stuff that we do really helps entrepreneurs with all areas of their lives, but it also protects them. And when they get into other programs, they don't hear this stuff. Other programs don't look at details like that. They don't look at like really what's gonna throw an entrepreneur off, what's gonna give them a hard time, and how do we protect them. So every time we make a sale, we have to remember we're helping someone not just grow their business, but really protect their lives and make sure that things are in the right place and make sure that they're taking care of themselves. And then the other thing I want to bring up is I dropped this in Slack, but we just signed as a customer. And, I think from internally, we look at our content and we're like, oh man, there's broken links and there's videos that need to be changed and it's confusing and it's hard. And I got in there and she's like, oh my God, what a relief. I'm fine. Like I finally know what to do every 30 and 90 days. And I've never really understood it before. And I'm so excited about this program. And, what we do as a company is not like sometimes as sexy as marketing, and it's not as cool as funnels, and it's not like this stuff that gets like all the bells and whistles and gets a bunch of attention. But what we actually do as a company is show entrepreneurs how to grow a business and grow their lives and protect themselves and insulate themselves from all the challenges of running a business. And, the more I get messages like that, the more I'm like, okay, we need to start adding 5 people a week and then 10 people a week and then 20 people a week. And how do we scale this to where we've got hundreds of entrepreneurs that are in this program where we're totally changing how they run their business, but we're also protecting them everywhere else. And so just remember, like every day that we come in here, every day with everything we're doing, we're not just selling a product. We're not just putting people in a membership. We're not just getting, monthly recurring revenue. All of those things are critically important so that we stay in business. But what we're really doing is taking a completely different look at how do you run a business and how do you make it sustainable and how do you make it so you're not burning yourself out and how do you make it so that you don't end up with your accounts hacked and losing stuff. And so every time we're on a sales call and we convert that sales call, to me, it's like another entrepreneur who's safe, another entrepreneur who's not going to have to do all the crazy crap that everybody talks about out there, another entrepreneur who's not going to have to hustle themselves until they're in adrenal fatigue and hormonal issues and all kinds of other stuff, and their hair's falling out and they have autoimmune disorders. Like all of those things have actually happened to people. They come into our program and those things go away. And so let's just remember when we're doing the marketing, when we're sending out emails, when somebody messages Help Scout, when we have an opportunity to interact with a member, it's not just a product. This is a mission to make it so that this incredible group of people who get up every day, go into the future, create a new reality, and come back to the present, demand it becomes real, and put up with all the crap that it takes to do that, actually can do what they do. I get emotional every time I talk about that because there's been more than once in our program where somebody, after they've been in our coaching for a while, said something to me like, before I found this system, I was thinking about giving up. And more than once, it wasn't giving up on business. It was just giving up. And there's way too many entrepreneurs that feel like they're totally alone. They're getting terrible advice, like get up every morning and grab a cup of coffee and go to work and don't do anything else. They're being told to like eat the same foods every day and you don't need a morning routine and like all of this crap that makes it so that their lives get progressively more and more challenging. And the way we show them how to grow a business actually allows them to be an entrepreneur, not just with a business, but with a life. Thanks for listening to this episode of the podcast. And I hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes look at our team communication and how I share and talk to my team. And if you're an entrepreneur who's looking to build a real business, a sustainable, predictable company that grows over time and gives you the income you want and the life you want, we want to talk to you. Go to simpleoperations.com. Fill out a few questions for my team by going to the survey on the homepage and jump on a call with us so that we can share how we're helping visionary entrepreneurs around the world grow the business they always have known they should have. If that describes you, reach out to us.